Welcome back to the Crypto channel, everyone. My name is Josh, and right now, Bitcoin is officially breaking out to the upside, setting up the next major price target, as we're also seeing a major breakout in this daily Bitcoin RSI, causing a major short squeeze, liquidating a bunch of short positions. So I'll be talking about that in just a moment, alongside the price of Chainlink, also massively breaking out to the upside from this bullish pattern. So in just a moment, I'll be revealing my trading strategy for this breakout trading opportunity, alongside Solana now starting to run into this area of resistance, but continuing the bullish move, while the price of Cardano is also just now starting the next major breakout. So I'll be talking about all of that and more later in the video, so definitely watch to the end. First of all, starting off on the weekly Bitcoin chart, and right now Bitcoin is technically still in a bull market, playing out this bull market signal. And if we're taking a look at this weekly Bitcoin chart, right now, of course, we're starting the second half of January, which means we should be expecting that next major move in the bull market at some point anytime now, basically. Because first of all, if you've been watching my videos over the last 1 month or so, you'll know that every day over the last 1 month, give or take, I've been talking about how we're most likely going to see just some choppy sideways price action in the short term for the next month or so, up until the second half of January as the most likely scenario. And of course, over the last 1 month, we've seen exactly that as expected, just chopping around sideways. So short-term bearish and short-term bullish price action. And that was mainly based on the fact that we were seeing very similar price structure and also very similar signals in this MACD indicator on the weekly time frame to what we were seeing exactly 1 year ago. First of all, in October 2023, just like October 2024, we saw a bullish crossover in this indicator, and then a massive bullish move over the next few months in the price of Bitcoin in both of these circumstances here. And then it was around early to mid December 2023, just like early to mid December 2024, we started to slow down from that massive bullish move, lose a lot of bullish momentum in this indicator, and play out a lot of choppy sideways price action up until near the end of January last time. So I've been saying basically expect that until the second half of January, but once we get closer towards the end of January, the second half of January, once again, expect that next significant move coming very, very soon. And right now we're possibly starting to see that next significant move. And so just keep this in mind. It's exactly playing out as I've been saying every day over the last month. Of course, no longer expect a lot of choppy sideways price action now that we're entering into the second half of January. As I've said in recent videos here on the channel, start expecting that next major move in the price of Bitcoin very, very soon. And with that being said, if we're taking a look at this 4-day Bitcoin chart, the super trend indicator is still sitting in the green, indicating a larger bull market. But of course, on this weekly Bitcoin chart, we still technically have a bearish divergence on the weekly time frame, with higher highs in the price and lower highs in the RSI. But if we see a confirmed breakout with a weekly candle close above around 105,000, then in that case, that would set a new higher high in place in the price in the candle closes, which means it would have to reconfirm a new bearish divergence in that instance. And so obviously, if we're still making higher highs in the price while the RSI is still sitting in lower highs, that's still a bearish divergence possibly forming, but we'll just have to reconfirm that bearish divergence again with at least another, but potentially 2 more red candle closes in the weekly time frame here in the price action in order to cement another lower high in place in the RSI. And then the bullish scenario would be if we see a breakout, not just in the price, but also in the weekly Bitcoin RSI above this previous high, because that would mean that at least for some time, we'll essentially invalidate this massive bearish divergence right here if we're making higher highs in the RSI alongside higher highs in the price. And so as of right now, at the time of recording this video, we still have just over 2 days from now until the next weekly candle close, which means technically this bearish divergence is still currently active on the weekly Bitcoin chart. But of course, overall, looking at all of these other charts, things are currently looking more bullish than bearish. Obviously, we cannot just rely everything on one single chart. And in fact, I've been saying recently here on the channel, a likely scenario for Bitcoin over the last 1 month or so, I've been saying it's just some choppy sideways price action, maybe a slight pullback, playing out this bearish divergence. But then second half of January, getting closer towards the end of January, expect another major move in the price of Bitcoin, especially based on this chart. chart, and that could potentially just extend this bearish divergence out further, maybe towards mid-year or later this year, for example, if the RSI is still forming lower highs, and then at some point later in 2025, we may start that next bear market and see the bull market top. And so, of course, there's no guarantees, but that's just a likely scenario for the price of Bitcoin based on all of this information right here and based on the 4-year Bitcoin halving cycles. And just before getting into some very important Bitcoin charts today, talking about new price targets and trading strategies, etc. First of all, if you want to take any of these trades in the price of any crypto, personally, I take a lot of my trades right now over on BitNex, so I'll make sure to leave a link to BitNex below this video in the description and in the pinned comment. And if you use that link below this video, it'll take you to this page right here, which is an exclusive rewards page where you can claim exclusive rewards. So simply just by depositing and trading, you get a 100 USDT bonus, or if you start trading on your account, whether you're a new user or an existing user on BitNex, if you used one of my links to make your account, then you can get these rewards like a brand new iPhone 16 Pro Max or Apple AirPods or an Apple Watch, etc. But once again, you can only claim these exclusive bonuses if you use the link below this video to make your BitNex account and start trading on that account. So if you're going to be trading crypto anyway, you might as well check this out. Once again, first link below this video. And also, in case you're wondering, BitNex is a no KYC exchange, which means you can access it from basically any country in the world without needing any KYC. But as always, check your local regulations when it comes to trading crypto. And for whatever reason, if you don't want BitNex, there is also Bybit as another option out there, another exchange that I also trade on. So I will also make sure to leave a link to Bybit below this video in the description and in the pinned comment. But with that being said, taking a look at this Bitcoin chart on the daily time frame, and as of right now, we can clearly see a breakout in the price of Bitcoin above this descending line of resistance, which was sitting at around 100.5k approximately. And something good about all of this choppy sideways price action that we've seen over the last 1 to 2 months or so is due to the fact that we've seen a major reset in the price oscillators like the RSI, for example, from previously very much overbought to now much more neutral levels, giving us much more room towards the upside right now compared to previously around 2 months ago, for example. And right now, as of recording this video, we're not only seeing a breakout in the price, we're also now seeing a breakout in the daily Bitcoin RSI, which is a very bullish signal here, showing strength in the price of Bitcoin, strength in this breakout. And so if we're looking at the technical price target based on this triangle pattern right here, breaking out towards the upside, looking at that technical price target, that sets up a price target at around $116,000 per Bitcoin approximately. So from that breakout to that price target, that was a possible 15% profit, or even from where we are right now, at least as of recording this video, to that price target, that's still around a 10 to 11% move towards the upside. And that's with no leverage, or for example, with a 10x leverage long position, that would be over a 100% profit, essentially doubling your money in that example. And so as I've shared recently here on the channel, this is a trading strategy that is already starting to play out right now. Obviously, if you entered some sort of long position near the breakout, or let's just say if you wait for this daily candle close and continue longing the price towards this price target, obviously that's a way to potentially profit from this move right here. And in terms of taking profits from a short-term trade like this, not necessarily selling spot Bitcoin, but a short-term long position, for example, personally, I would look to take some profits around these highs right here, just to take some profits off the table from a long position, a short-term trade, because as I'll talk about in just a moment, we do have some resistance at close to these highs, and also just before the price target at 116k, so maybe at 115k to 116k, around there, I'd also look to take a bit of profits off the table from that long position if I were taking this trade. And when it comes to a stop loss or a point of invalidation for this trade right here and for this price target, obviously if we break back below the point of the breakout, as always, that's a point of invalidation, which means if we see the price break back below around 100.5k, and especially if we break back below 100k with candle closes below 100k, that would completely invalidate this breakout, invalidate the price target, and invalidate the pattern. So that would essentially mean placing some sort of stop loss just below the point of invalidation in order to avoid any further losses in that worst case scenario. And as I always say, when it comes to these sort of trading strategies right here, personally, I like to move my stop loss at least towards my break-even price, towards my entry price, but ideally moving my stop loss further and further into profits as the trade moves further into profits. So that's even in the worst case scenario. Let's just say at this point, if my stop loss was already sitting sitting in profits. If we just dump for whatever reason all the way back down, that would hit the stop loss in profits and close the trade automatically in profits. And so as always, not financial advice, but that's just an example of a simple trading strategy to take advantage of these breakout opportunities. The moment we see a signal like a breakout and activate a price target, of course, we can activate those trading strategies to make a lot of easy profits in crypto. But even if we have a bullish price target, as always, we cannot ignore resistance. So we should find some resistance at least around 106,000 to 107,000 and possibly closer towards 108,000 as well, mainly based on the all-time high back here, which was obviously previous resistance. We rejected from that area on the price chart. And as for short-term support, if for whatever reason we see a slight little pullback here, I would now expect support in this area sitting in between 102,000 to 103,000, which was previous resistance and will likely become new support. And below 102 to 103K, we could also find support at pretty much exactly 100,000 and at around 98,000, and also a lot of support still down towards 92 to 93,000. But obviously between now and then, we have a lot of other support levels to watch out for. And if we're taking a look at the Bitcoin liquidation heat map just over the last one day, essentially the moment we broke out above this short-term resistance, that started at least a small short squeeze because we wiped out a bunch of short positions. As we can see, we had a lot of liquidity at close to 103,000. In fact, hundreds of millions of dollars worth of short positions basically got wiped out once the price broke out above 103K. And in case you're new to all of this, when a short position gets liquidated or when a short position closes in general, they essentially have to buy back into the underlying asset, in this case Bitcoin, which pushes the price higher, which liquidates more short positions, pushing the price even higher, and so on. That's what a short squeeze is. And so just recently and over the last few hours, that's pretty much what we've seen right here, just a small short squeeze. And in terms of other areas of liquidity to watch out for, we don't really have a significant cluster of liquidity in the short term here, but we do have a small amount starting to build at around 106,000 to 107,000, and also a small amount at around 105,000. So really, most of the liquidity is still above the price of Bitcoin, which means it's likely the price will continue in the bullish direction, because usually, not always, but usually the price moves towards where there's a lot of liquidity. And so that is the situation for Bitcoin in the shorter term and the longer term right now. And if we're taking a look at the price of Ethereum on the 3-day time frame, right now Ethereum is continuing the bounce from this line of support, this Fibonacci level at just above 3.2K. So not much else has changed here on this 3-day time frame. And if we're taking a look at this daily Ethereum chart, right now obviously the price is continuing the short-term bounce just like Bitcoin with that bullish move, but Ethereum is right now running into this important area of resistance to watch out for, which we've previously seen multiple rejections from, and that's sitting in between around 34.30 to 35.60. And so just be aware of that area on the price chart for Ethereum, because that's where Ethereum will most likely struggle at here in the short term. As we've just seen over the last 1 to 2 days, we did actually see a small rejection from that area. But once we can eventually see a confirmed breakout above around 35.60, the next resistance I'll be watching is sitting at around 3.7K based on this high right here. And above that level, we have significant resistance in between 3.9K to 4.1K. And if you're wondering what is most likely going to happen here for Ethereum coming soon, basically just pay attention to the price of Bitcoin, because if Bitcoin is playing out the massive bullish move, Ethereum will likely play out similar price action. Obviously, over the last 1 day with Bitcoin pumping, Ethereum has had a decent bounce, at least here in the short term, just over the last 1 day here. And vice versa, if Bitcoin for whatever reason experiences a major dump, then Ethereum will also likely play out something similar. Obviously not the exact same, but something similar. So really just focus on the Bitcoin price in order to figure out what is most likely going to happen for Ethereum. And with that being said, if we're taking a look at the price of Chainlink on the daily time frame, right now Chainlink is obviously breaking out towards the upside and has already confirmed the breakout from this bullish falling wedge pattern. Of course, over the last few days, since all the way back down here, I've been talking about this bullish falling wedge pattern, saying how all we need to see is simply a breakout above this line right here in order to activate a bullish price target for this pattern, sitting at around just above $29, around $29.30 approximately as a price target, which is now in play because we've now seen that confirmed breakout with a daily candle close above this resistance, which by the way, it was sitting at just above $22. But as always, even though we have a price target in play right now based on this falling wedge pattern, we still have this area of resistance to watch out for in between around $24.50 to $25.50. So just keep that in mind. It's possible the price could struggle around there. But once we see a breakout above around $25.50, and especially if we break out above around $26.20 above these previous highs, which could also potentially act as a small amount of resistance, but once we break out above those levels, then it's very likely we'll simply just continue pretty much straight up towards these highs at just above $29. And so when it comes to my trading strategy for the price of Chainlink right now, yes, as usual, I put my money where my mouth is. I am currently in a long position, longing this move towards the upside. Essentially, the moment we saw this breakout here, and especially once we confirmed the breakout with that daily candle close, I started to accumulate a long position. So yes, I am longing the price of Chainlink right now towards the upside. And personally, I'll look to take a small amount of profits out of that trade pretty much right now around this area of resistance, just closing a small portion of that long position, not the entire trade. And I'm doing that just for the chance that we may end up seeing a decent rejection from this resistance. Obviously, I'm not saying that's definitely going to happen, but there's a chance we could reject from resistance, which is why I'm taking some profits from that long position. But obviously, I'm keeping the rest of the trade open in case we continue breaking out further towards the upside, towards this price target. And then as we get closer towards this price target, just before the price target, I'll also look to take a decent amount of profits out of that long position. And in case you're wondering, I took that Chainlink long position over on my BTNext account. Once again, first link below this video if you want to claim those extra bonuses over on BTNext, the exchange that I'm trading on right now. And with that being said, taking a look at the price of Solana on the 8-hour time frame, obviously Solana is continuing to play out this bullish divergence, which I talked about since all the way back down here. Obviously, we're continuing to break out above this previous area of resistance, now most likely acting as new support if we were to see a pullback here, and that's sitting in between $200 to $205. But right now, at least as of recording this video, we're currently running into this area of resistance sitting in between 220 to 223. So expect some resistance potentially around there based on the previous resistance. But if we can see a further breakout beyond $223, which could possibly happen very soon, then in that case, the next resistance to watch out for is at around 232. And above that, we have significant resistance at 246. And also just be aware of the fact that on the 8-hour time frame, the Solana RSI is now just starting to enter into overbought territories, the opposite of an oversold signal. So this signal by itself does not necessarily mean the price is topping out right now. It just means that very soon we're starting to run out of room towards the upside, and it's very likely that potentially at some point over the next 1 or 2 days, we could start some sort of short-term cool-off, whether it's right here or potentially at the next resistance. Either way, it's likely that sometime soon we're going to see a bit of a cool off, which means either maybe a slight pullback or some choppy sideways price action, just cooling off from all of this bullish price action, which can help to reset the RSI, giving us more room to the upside later on. And so obviously when it comes to the momentum in the market right now, clearly the momentum is bullish as we've seen over the last few days. Technically speaking, despite the overbought signal, technically this bullish divergence is still active. We've not yet confirmed any invalidation signal to invalidate the bullish divergence. And of course, Solana will likely follow similar price action to Bitcoin. So if Bitcoin is experiencing a major breakout towards the upside, expect more bullish price action as the most likely scenario for Solana and a lot of the top altcoins. And if we're taking a look at the price of XRP on the weekly time frame, XRP over the last 1 day hasn't actually moved all that much. We're still sitting at very close to $3.30 currently at the time of recording this video, at around $3.25 approximately. So when it comes to support and resistance, we have found a decent amount of resistance at just above $3.30, based mainly on this previous high that we set back at the beginning of 2018 at around $3.30 acting as resistance. And as for support, we have this 1618 Fibonacci extension level, which will likely become new support right now, sitting at around $3. But really in between $2.90 to $3, that will likely act as major support here in the short term. And the next significant price target to the upside in this larger bull run here is sitting at close to $4.70, around $4.68 approximately, based on this 2618 Fibonacci extension level. But considering we have not really seen too much change over the last 1 day for XRP, obviously I won't repeat myself in this video. If you want want to know more about this chart right here, then check out my last video here on the channel. And so with that being said, taking a look at the price of Cardano, which is still one of the top suggested altcoins in the comment section below these videos, looking at Cardano on the weekly time frame, right now we're running into the most important area of resistance, which is the golden pocket area of resistance, sitting in between around $1.13 to $1.23. So in that price range, we have a lot of resistance, as we've seen over the last 1 to 2 months. We've previously seen multiple major rejections from that area in between $1.13 to $1.23, as I've been talking about since before we even saw the first rejection close to 2 months ago. And so despite what happens on the smaller time frames, which I'll talk about in just a moment, when we're zooming out to that weekly time frame, we are still running into this significant area of resistance that we cannot ignore. And so honestly, I would not flip overly bullish again on the price of Cardano, at least on the larger time frames that is, until we can ideally see a breakout above $1.23 with at least a weekly candle close, ideally confirming above $1.23 in order to finally flip much more bullish again. And in case you're wondering, the next Fibonacci level of resistance on this weekly time frame is sitting at around $1.76. But clearly here on the larger time frames, we are still within a larger bull market, despite running into significant resistance right now, because clearly right now we're forming higher lows and higher highs, which is a larger bullish trend, also known as a bull market. But once again, we're still running into this significant resistance, causing a lot of shorter term struggle for the price of Cardano here on the weekly time frame. But if we're taking a look at the daily time frame, we are right now at the time of recording this video breaking out from this symmetrical triangle pattern, also known as a horizontal triangle pattern, with a clear breakout above this descending line of resistance, which was sitting at around $1.07 approximately. So right now that we're breaking out above this resistance and also breaking out above these previous highs at around $1.10 to $1.11, this is very bullish news, very good news for Cardano here in the short term, because this breakout from this triangle pattern is now setting up a massive bullish price target for the price of Cardano for this pattern right here, which is sitting at around $1.95 approximately, as you can see right here. And so from where we are right now, as of recording this video, to that price target, that's more than a 70% pump in the price of Cardano with no leverage. So for example, with a 10x leverage long position, more than a 700% profit. So obviously this is potentially a massive trading opportunity right now for the price of Cardano, which is only just getting started. But personally, at least in my situation, I will not be taking this long position until we at least see a confirmed breakout above this golden pocket, because personally I'd not like to enter into a massive new long position right as the price is entering into the most important area of resistance on the price chart, where we've previously seen many rejections from. And so ideally I'd like to see a breakout above $1.23, ideally with confirmation, so at least a weekly candle close above $1.23, and even better if we can flip this previous golden pocket area of resistance into new support. That isn't necessary, but that would be extra confirmation for a breakout. Basically, once we see any of those signals right there, I'll be looking to accumulate a massive long position to long the next major bullish move in the bull market here, up towards at least around $1.76 based on this Fibonacci level, but also this price target at around $1.95. So massive possible profits here, but ideally once we first see a breakout above the golden pocket, because here in the short term that's still kind of been held over our heads right now, where we've previously seen a lot of rejection from. So obviously that is some short-term risk to pay attention to. But remember, if you want to trade any of these moves in the price of any crypto to maximize your profits in this bull market, check out those links below this video to claim those extra bonuses over on those exchanges, especially if you're going to be trading crypto anyway. And if you want to actually know how to trade crypto, no matter if the price is bullish, bearish, or chopping around sideways, you can profit from all of that price action by watching these videos popping up right here on your screen. The video in the top left shows you how you can profit from bullish or bearish price action using long positions or shorts positions, and the video in the bottom left shows you how you can easily profit from choppy sideways price action. But anyway, that is everything that I have to say for today. I really hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you all in the next video.